Aquarius, this is your astrology forecast for November 2015. Thank you for joining me. It's really nice to be with you today. The first thing that's happening in November is that you have a grand trine in your chart. A grand trine always represents an area of talent, okay? It's in water in your chart, so it's about the intuition and it's about feelings. And it's in your three work sectors in your chart. It's in your second house, in your sixth house, and in your 10th house. So you're really going to feel in control, in charge, and like you know what you're doing in terms of your working life. And you will also receive messages that will keep you on the right path. That increases on the 2nd of November because Mercury, the planet of communication, crosses your midheaven and moves into your 10th house of career, also in Scorpio, and you'll start to intuitively really get very strong confirmation of what's right and what isn't, especially when it comes to your work. Now, it gets even stronger, believe it or not. So Neptune is the planet of dreams and water and aspiration that sits in your second house of money, and that starts to connect with your Sun, which is in your 10th house. Whenever Neptune hits the Sun or connects with it in any way, whether it's conjunct or it's square or it's trine or whatever it is, it's trine right now. When it connects with it, it makes the intuition and receiving kind of intuitive information for yourself a key part of your identity. So the first week of November, your work is going to be actively guided and kind of made more meaningful, or you're going to be given very clear direction and movement about it from the 1st to the 6th of November. So if you're someone who's in the job that they love, you will get information on how to make that even better. If you're someone who's unemployed and is looking for a job that they love, or just any job, you will get information that will help you to achieve your objective. I would suggest that if you're not working, don't go for any job. Save yourself a lot of time and find a job that you actually care about and that you want to be doing. On the 4th of November, the moon starts to trine Uranus, okay? And Uranus is in your 3rd house of communication in Aries. And what that's going to be doing is it's going to give you a real kind of push and a real kind of naughty, mischievous desire to just speak your truth and to maybe even be controversial and to maybe even get people annoyed, to get a rise out of people, to wind them up. That connects with your moon in Leo, and that's in your 7th house. And what you're craving at the moment, Aquarius, I feel, is attention. I think you're craving attention from people, good attention, negative attention, it doesn't matter. As long as people see you and recognize you, that's what you're after on the 4th of November. So really, use your common sense with that, because attention for, especially people who say, any publicity is good publicity, negative publicity or good that is not true. You don't want people knowing your name because you're some sort of because you stripped on a porn site or whatever. That is not good publicity. You want to be careful about what you put out there, because even though it's a kind of global world these days with the internet and stuff, your reputation is something really important. And you want to keep that untarnished, and you only want people to know you for the stuff that you genuinely believe in and that you genuinely care about. Okay, on the 5th, Jupiter starts to trine your Pluto. And that's very interesting because at the moment you've got Jupiter, the planet of good luck and good fortune, sitting in your 8th house of other people and of formalities and contracts and institutions in terms of other people. You've got a lot going on there. You've got your North Node, you've got Venus, Mars, Jupiter, and the Moon, and that now connects with Pluto in your 12th house. I think you're going to take practical action to really discover a more holistic side to you. And it seems to me like you've been someone, and you are someone who's very focused on achieving. I think you've been very ambitious and driven to succeed lately, and you certainly are now. But you're looking at doing that a different way, in a way that is more in line with your own beliefs and values. Especially around the 5th, that is going to come under the microscope, you'll examine it and say, is this me, what I'm doing? And that's really an important question, you know? Because if you're doing something like I just said, which totally just makes you cringe about why am I doing this, then it's important to change that, because the longer you leave it, you're going to start to feel stuck and you'll start to feel unhappy. Now, on the 7th of November, there's a yod in the sky, and a yod is also known as the finger of God. It's two quincunxes and a sextile. It doesn't happen very often, and it has really karmic implications to it. It's like the universe intervening and highlighting something to you, so it's really noticed, okay? And the thing that's going to be in place here, the thing that's going to be highlighted is your work and how you feel about your work, how you are in connection with other people, and what that means for the way you communicate and the way you put yourself out there. And the thing that I get is that you're going to question what you're doing in a practical sense again. And I think that's your lesson for November, the first week of November anyway, is are you on the right track? Are you doing things that you're happy with, or do you feel like you're going to regret them at some point, and you now have the opportunity to stop anything that you may regret later on? Which is nice, because once that opportunity is gone, it's gone. There's a T-square on the 8th of November, and that's between your moon in Libra in the 9th, Uranus in the 3rd, and Pluto in your 12th. And the opposition here is between what it is you're talking about, what it is you're saying, and does it create harmony for yourself? Does it create harmony for other people? And is it really in line with this new kind of person you want to be? And is it also in line with the work that you ultimately want to end up doing? Wow, that's interesting. So maybe you're a Capricorn watching this and you're having some really bad ideas about doing something for money that you think is going to really get you through, but that might have long-term consequences for your life. And if you're doing anything like that, then, you know, just be really careful for that, of that. Because I don't want to moralize and lecture you, but I mean, young people are often exploited by media outlets and things like that, like the Bravo network, for instance. You know, you've got these shows, you've got the Real Housewives shows, and they put these women on there, and some of them aren't particularly stable, and some of them aren't haven't got lives that really need to be scrutinized on a global level. And the Bravo network doesn't care about the mental health or the well-being of these women. They care about making good reality TV and drama on TV, okay? So the women, they think, oh, this'll benefit my career. I have a clothes line. If I go on TV and start screaming at people and start throwing things and making a complete fool of myself, that's really going to help my business. But what they forget is, if that drama that they're putting out there isn't in line with who they really are, we don't know that. The viewers don't know that. The viewers, all they know is what they see on the screen. And what they also forget is that there's a record for that, and those shows are going to be franchised for the next 20 years, and they're going to be on cable networks forever. If you're someone who's contemplating something like that, really be careful, because those kind of things have consequences. Venus goes into Libra on the 9th of November, and that's in your 9th house. So again, you're really going to, Venus is the planet of love, and you're really going to be thinking about, how can I broaden my horizons? How can I educate myself in a way that will create more harmony in my own life? So this is really self-improvement all the way. And you may get a message on the 9th that gives you a lead in terms of how you can do that. Neptune trines the moon on the 10th, and this is the day before the new moon. Again, more intuitive messages about what you're going to be doing for work. The new moon on the 11th is in Scorpio. It's controlled. Scorpio is a sign that controls, that adds real strength to your feelings, and that builds structure out of feelings. And what you're going to be getting on the new moon period is increased energy. You'll understand more within yourself what you're trying to achieve in your career. You'll be able to plan for that, put that into practice, and to kind of visualize it in your mind's eye, and you'll start to be able to pursue it. You'll be able to pursue it. I can't speak English today. Okay, on the 12th of November, Jupiter and the Sun start to sextile each other, and that Mercury sits right on top of your Sun. So you're very communicative, you're very clear on what it is you need right now. Jupiter will help you take practical actions to achieve that, and really you're being supported, and you might also be being supported by other people in your life. So if you're struggling, if you're not sure about the kind of ideas, about what you're trying to be, if you want to get a second opinion on what you're doing, then speak to other people. You'll get good guidance from them, and that will clarify your own feelings even more. And it's always good to double check, especially if you're 100% certain. If you know something is correct 100%, that's the time when you need to check with something, because whenever you're that certain about something, you're probably wrong, you know? Mars goes into Libra on the 13th, and this is also really good because Mars in Libra will really drive for you to create something wonderful and to, again, broaden your horizons in a way that's harmonious and loving to you and to other people. So your heart's in the right place. It's just whether the actual practical route that you're going down is appropriate, and that's where the double checking with other people comes in. So that's an interesting month. So the good thing about all of that is you have something going on, you have a vision of what's going to happen, and you're pursuing that. Now, on the 14th, 4 of your houses in the chart just empty. There's nothing going on there. 4th house, 5th house, 6th house, 7th house. Those are all the houses that have to do with relationships and personal relationships. And the problem for you, Aquarius, is very unlike you because you're a humanitarian anyway. The problem about this month for you is that you're totally focused on yourself, and you're focused on your career, and you're focused on your knowledge. You're not thinking about how this is going to impact other people in your life, and those nearest and dearest to you, and your children. You're thinking about what you want to do right now. So don't do anything that'll bite you in the bum later on. Have I ever done anything like that? I don't know. I mean, the only thing publicly that I've done is my YouTube channel. Yeah, that's a good example. And I only put content on this channel that I genuinely believe in. Okay? So the reason I do that is because if I start to put out info that I think will be very popular, but that I don't believe in, then I'm not being honest with myself, then I'm not being true to myself. And if I look back on that 2 years from now, and it's just like, well, that's still there, why did you do that? Then that creates a problem. Do you see what I mean? So it's important to, to just be very congruous with the internal self and the self that's being expressed. Interesting. It's very philosophical this month. Okay. 17th of November, Uranus starts to oppose Venus, and that happens from the 17th of November through until the 28th of November. Uranus is sitting in your 3rd house and is urging you to communicate and to just really speak your mind and to really put yourself out there regardless of what anyone else thinks. Venus is sitting up there saying, make yourself better, improve things, really learn rather than just... So that friction will kind of push and pull you, and it might make you feel a little bit uncomfortable. Should I educate myself and really try and build a better me for the future? Or should I just throw it all up in the air and speak my mind right now, whatever I want to do? It's the difference between a Big Brother contestant and someone who goes to university. Okay? So you choose. Both of those have benefits and downfalls. But that's really the kind of push and pull that I see for you around the 17th in particular. Now on the 19th, the moon starts to square a lot of your energy in your 10th and 11th house. And this is a major issue, and I think you're going to have a little bit of of a moment where you totally reevaluate everything that you've been doing. So you're going to have a think about the hopes and dreams that I've been pursuing. Have those been right? The work that I've been pursuing and the guidance that I've been getting, have I been doing that right? Have I been putting that into place? It doesn't feel comfortable whenever you scrutinize your path, your life, whatever it is you're doing. It doesn't feel nice, but it's really important because, again, it's a fail-safe mechanism. You can stop things and change them if you're not happy with them before it's too late. Because again, what I see for you, Aquarius, is that you've got a lot of energy, you've got a lot of power to make things happen, to achieve things in all of these areas. But if you're galloping off down the wrong direction, then it's pointless. So what you're doing is you're constantly checking in with yourself. Am I going in the right direction? Am I doing the right thing? So it's 5 steps forward, check, evaluate. 5 steps forward, check, evaluate. And that's very good. So use the 19th as a timeout to step back and to reevaluate what you're doing. The 21st sees Mercury going into Sagittarius in your 11th house. This is, again, very powerful. Mercury went into your 10th in Scorpio on the 2nd, okay? So it's gone through that whole house of the 10th, which is work, and now it's sitting in your 11th, which is hopes and dreams, 21 days later, or a couple of 20-ish days later, okay? So Mercury has left your work sector and it's now focusing on the information of hopes and dreams. So it's progressed through work and it's looking beyond that, and it's looking beyond work and everything that's in your life right now. What do you want to achieve? So you're really overarching yourself a little bit. You're having to ask all of these questions. What is the meaning of my life? Where am I going? It's not fun. And it sits next to that Saturn in Sagittarius, and it sits next to your midheaven in Sagittarius. And don't tell Sagittarius I'm saying this, but the thing to blame is Saturn in Sagittarius, because Saturn moved into Sagittarius on the 18th. It will stay there until for 2.5 years, and basically what it's going to do to everybody, not just you or Sagittarius or Virgo or whatever, it blinkers everyone on what is my path forward. So the next 2.5 years, people are going to be really, really goal oriented, and people are really going to be like, am I doing the right thing? And it's exhausting, isn't it? Can't we just like wait for things to appear and just be happy? No, not according to Saturn. According to Saturn, you have to make a plan. You have to plan your career and your dreams, and you have to go after them relentlessly. Mercury joins that whole mess in your 11th house of hopes and dreams. So that's what you're going to be thinking about, talking about, engaging with on a day-to-day basis. How can I get there? What can I do? On the 22nd, Pluto squares Venus, and it does that until the 25th of November. Pluto is in your 12th, Venus is in your 9th. And that square is this is more harmonious. It creates a friction between this new you that's emerging out of yourself, and the beauty and the harmony and the coming across to other people very well. All of those concerns, they come together, they mesh and mold, and it means that I think whether you've decided to or not, you get some information in that really improves who you are. So you either get a lesson, or you find out something, or you have the opportunity to grow in some way, or you have an experience that makes you have more compassion and that makes you look better. And when I say look better, it makes you appear better because of the knowledge you have. So expect something positive to come in on those days. On the 25th of November is the full moon, and the full moon is in Taurus, and that happens in your 4th house. What's interesting about this month is that the new moon that happened on the 11th is in Scorpio, and the full moon that happens now on the 25th is in Taurus. Both of those signs are concerned with control. Scorpio controls feelings, Taurus controls the body, and it controls money, and it controls finances. So everything that's been going on here this month is all about control, and I think you've been trying to control your public image, and you've been trying to control the path that you're taking and where you're going to end up. Now, this culmination point, this full moon blossoming in your 4th house in Taurus, means that I think ultimately you're going to return to the beliefs and values that you really connect with and that are really yours and that you value for a reason. And then I think you'll come back down to earth a little bit. I think things will start to make sense more, and the washing machine will stop a little bit. On the 27th, the north node of the moon and Jupiter come much closer together in your 8th house, and they square the moon in your 5th. Again, you communicate in a more open and honest way, and in a way that's more connected to your true self, to your inner child, to your own beliefs, and you put that out there in the public. So I think it's a return to sanity in many ways. Uranus begins to oppose Mars on the 28th of November, and it continues to oppose Mars until the 20th of December. Okay, so that thing I mentioned earlier, the question between do I educate myself and make myself better, or do I just blurt out everything I think is right now, at the moment, without bothering to research or educate myself, I think that becomes even stronger, and you're really going to have a drive to become the best version of yourself you can be. Doesn't mean there's anything wrong with you now, but it means that you're on this search to really improve and to find out things that you don't know yet, to build your skills. And that's not a put down, because if a 5-year-old stopped learning and said, I am perfect and I am everything I'm ever going to be, all he could do at 25 would be tie his own shoelaces. So you've got to continue learning, you've got to continue growing. And Mars is the soldier, it drives you, it makes you move forward. Venus is the planet of love, it's the female, it's the mother, it's the lover. And when those two come together, they create something amazing between themselves. So whatever it is you learn, and if you do commit, and that's, I guess that's the test for you, I suppose, in November. If you do decide to learn something, if you do decide to better yourself, you can create something really beautiful. And you can become something magical. You may turn into a fairy, who knows. No, but really, joking aside, if you decide to learn art or something, you might realize that you have a massive, huge talent. You don't know until you check, do you? Okay, so the 30th of the month finishes with the moon starting to trine all of those things going on in your 11th house, the focus for the future, the path ahead. And I really think that you're going to come to peace now, you're going to come to terms, you're going to realize that yes, you do want some recognition, you do want to be seen by other people, you do want to appear. But you're only willing to do that if it's congruous and if it makes sense with your own personal beliefs and values. And I think you found a way forward now to actually achieve that through educating yourself, through doing something that you enjoy. And you can put yourself out into the world and have that success and still be true to yourself. Okay, that's it for November. I hope you found that useful in some way. If you would like a private reading with me about what kind of career you should be choosing, what you're doing maybe that you want to get out of, that you don't think is right, whatever, please visit my website. It's gregoryscott.com. Click on the readings tab. You'll see the types of readings that I offer: astrology, tarot, and numerology. Just click on whichever reading you want and I'll send you my schedule. Remember to subscribe to the channel, and you can also find me on social media like Twitter and Instagram and Facebook. My username is Gregory Scott 444. Have a great month, and I'll speak to you soon.